Welcome everybody, I'm Lizzie Brooks and this is a fast core blast. So we're gonna pretty much get right into it. If you can hit that subscribe button and that lets me know that you want this free content to continue. I support you with some core blast, you support me with punching that little button. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So you might not have expected, we're gonna start standing. So yes, you can work core while standing. If you need to stretch out a little bit more before we do this, pause, stretch out, and come into it. I've already stretched out a little bit. This is particularly just mostly core. So let's go into a goddess squat, toes and knees point in the same direction. Interlace your fingers here and just start to do a little bit of a twist. You're not doing the full range of movement that you can. You're going side to side, little stretch, a little strength, firing up the work in the legs, lifting the pelvic floor a little bit. If you'd rather take your hands together into more of that Anjali Mudra, you can. Breathing, and then now pause in the middle, reach back, open your heart, go a little deeper here. You don't want to overly open your heart or you'll collapse the low back, just a little bit, and then straighten it all up, reach up, straighten the legs, hands to the heart. Deep breath in. And sigh it out, shake it out. Heel toe in or hop in, and we're just going to start to cross the midline and take one knee to one elbow. So you only have one choice because you're crossing the midline. So it's right elbow to left knee and left elbow to right knee. Breathing here. Really, as you do this, you can go as slow or quick as you want, but really try to hug your core musculature back and get really in tune with your center. Breathing here. You can do whatever movement with the arms you want. You can make it look as cool or as not cool. And then from here, pause, go wide again. Come into that goddess squat. Come into your interlaced and come into just creating a little bit more of that fire in the belly, a little bit more wakefulness through our twists. Doesn't have to be big. Want to really, really care for that low back. And then from here, pause in the center, straighten it all up, heel, toe, back in. Shake it out just a little bit here. And then find your balance, lift one knee and draw a circle with that knee. Hands can go wherever you want for balance. So when we're talking about the core, again, we're talking about hips, reverse your rotation, pelvic floor, glutes, back body, deeper stuff, psoas major, psoas minor. Woo, and put that down. Soften it out. Other side. Draw a circle with your knee. This could be a big circle, small circle. Go a little slower maybe if you're going super fast. Ooh, so important. And then shake that on out. From here, last time we'll go into our wide-legged goddess squat. Going into that goddess squat here, but something a little different. Lift your left heel. Rotate the knee down as the heel rotates up. Breathe here. Open the other knee back. Rotate, spin down. That was awkward. You're doing it right. Lift the other heel. Rotate the knee down. Breathe here. Lift your pelvic floor. Really good stabilizing here. Open it out and come back down. Optional lift of the heels. Draw your core musculature back. Lift your pelvic floor. Working to get a little stretch through the groin while working the deeper hip muscles. Lower the heels and turn everything towards me. Shake it on out. And let's come on down into a plank pose. So we'll find our plank pose. And this time we're just going to take the ball joints of the feet to touching. That's actually going to make it more like you have to balance left to right than if you had your feet here, it's easier. So if you want, go a little harder with the ball joints of the feet to touching. Breathe here. And then almost touch your knees to the floor, okay, almost. But round the spine as you do that. Round the head, round the tail, and then come back to full plank. Do that again, round the knees almost to touching, round the head. And come back. So that's the flow. You're rounding, you're drawing the organs towards the spine, almost touching the knees, and back. The knees are way behind the hips, okay? So it's not right underneath. And back. One more time, round and back. Come all the way down onto your mat. If you want to add a blanket beneath you. for a little bit of cushion. And then from here, reach your arms back. Feet are the distance apart that feels best to you. And then take the gaze down and peel shoulder blades away from the floor and onto the back. Feet lift any amount and rise up. Breathing here. So you can keep the feet down or lift them up. It will change the work in the back. Find what you need. And then rise a little bit more. Now from here, we're going to think expansion. Reach through the fingertips, reach through the toes, reach back and away. Breathing here. Lift a little higher. And then exhale, coming on down. Turn over onto one side so that you have, and again, a blanket underneath your hip might be good for padding, so that you have one of your forearms parallel to the short edge of your mat and the rest of you is lengthwise. And then from here, stack the feet, stack the legs, put an L shape in the ankles, roll your shoulder blades back a little bit here, and then tent your fingertips in front of you with that top arm and lift your hips. So you can stay here, or you can take the top hand to the waist. You can stay there or reach the top arm up. And then from here, you can stay holding or movement. This is a big amount of work for a small amount of movement. Lifting and lowering, and of course we're getting the upper body involved here too. 1, 2, and 3. Last one, come on down. Woo! All right, then do a really cool move like you're from the 80s and you're doing breakdancing, and we're coming on to the Sphinx Pose on the other side. Maybe you're just staying on the same side, but so you can see my face when I turn. I'm on this side. Find your Sphinx Pose, breathing here. Just working that back a little bit. We're not going into that full back bend quite yet, that one we did, that Shalabhasana. And then left forearm, or whichever other arm you didn't have down first, parallel to the short edge of your mat, longwise on your mat, stacking the hips here, L shape with the ankles, top arm forward, and then lift. Stay here, or hand to waist, or arm up. Maybe you're holding, and maybe you are coming up and down with the hips. So that top hip usually wants to drop back. See if you can stack it right on top of that lower hip. You'll really feel the core muscles waking up here. And 1, 2, and 3. Come on down. Ooh, this time come on to your belly. Relax the glutes, bend the knees, and just let the legs kind of windshield wiper side to side, through the calves, through the ankles. Maybe rotate the ankles a few times, breathing here. And then from here, something similar to what we did in that earlier plank pose, but our forearms are down again. Walk the feet together, like you did in plank. Take the knees a little closer together, root into the palms and the forearms, and then we're gonna round with the knees down into a cat shape from Sphinx. So from here, inhale, and as you exhale, knees down, round into that cat, knees down. Slow, 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 unwind into Sphinx Pose. As you're ready, on an exhale, root the knees, round the spine, really round the low back, draw in and up. And all the way, slow, unwinding, back into Sphinx. One more time, and we'll hold this even longer. Round, 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 root the knees, draw in and up, all of the organs towards the spine, press the knees down, active. And very slow unfurling back into Sphinx Pose. And you'll probably feel the shoulders there too. Inhale and exhale, lay on down, maybe let the ankles move side to side, soften it out. And then from here, we'll come onto our back body. So you might want to move your blanket to the side for your later postures like relaxation. Slowly rolling on down, and then reach your arms behind you. Draw your low belly in and down, draw the low back towards the floor. You're gonna have an invisible block and then an option to use a real block here. Okay, so from here, lift the block above you And then see if you can roll up. See how my feet came up? That might happen. That's okay. You might have to put the feet a little further forward. Reach that invisible block, round down, low back to the floor. Keep the low back on the floor as the head comes down and the arms reach. Slowly start with the invisible block, round up, round, 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 and reach. Okay, so maybe 2 options for changing. You can do exactly what you did with the invisible block, or you can hold the block and do it, or even do it with straight legs. So you choose. I'm going to do it first, just adding the block, rounding down, keeping the low belly down, not lifting the lumbar as I take the block back. This is great for the shoulders too. Then reaching, leading with the block, lifting over the shoulders, round it up, try to keep the feet glued down, and then extend through the back and the arms. Maybe press through the heels and keep the legs long as you roll. Block with you, low back stays closer to the floor. It will be slightly lifted here. Exhaling as you're ready. Block comes above you, you're rolling it up, rolling it up. This time the block can maybe come higher. So you're gonna find what works for you through this dynamic movement. It's slow movement. I don't want momentum here, okay? If you have to use it because you're not used to it and that's how you're learning, that's okay, but just don't stay with momentum. And then reach up. And from here, use a block if you have it. If you don't have a block, and use an invisible block. Take the soles of the feet to the floor, and then hold your block on the skinnier section. So not here, but here. All right. And then you can do a little bit of a block side to side with the feet down, or just the toes down, or with the legs up in the boat pose. So taking this side to side, keeping a nice lift behind the heart, drawing your core musculature as a unit. So that means pelvic floor, low belly, back, side, waistline, hips, all of that integrated. Side to side, stay with it. If it becomes too much, put the toes down and work there. If it's too much on the hip flexors, do it with straight legs. 3, 2, 1. Sit up tall, reach the invisible block or the actual block up, breathing here. Invisible block or with the block, draw a circle with the torso. So this is working the entirety of the body. If this is too much for the shoulders, I want you to remove the block and just put your hands to the heart. Reverse your rotation, working this core, taking it off balance, sides, back, forward, and up. Whew. Yeah, when I say core, of course, I can't leave out the rest of the body. There's stuff going on. Reach, 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 and then go ahead and take that block off to the side and roll your shoulders back and down and soften through the neck. Relax the jaw. Bring your hands to the heart. So as you're ready to relax, you can come on down onto your back at any time. Thank you so much for just coming into that wakefulness in the core, a little more strength, and some movement that maybe when you're looking at core work you don't always think of, but it is core and stabilization. So thank you so much for being here. Please come back, please like, please subscribe, please. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Namaste.